Within the scholarly discourse on ancient astrological systems, Hellenistic Greek astrology represents a critical juncture where rigorous mathematical traditions intersected with rich, symbolic paradigms. This system emerged as an advanced synthesis during the 3rd century BCE in the Mediterranean, integrating the quantitative precision of Babylonian astronomical records with the intricate spiritual symbolism stemming from Egyptian thought. In this narrative, I shall relate how these two venerable traditions intertwined and how Greek intellectual innovation transformed a primarily state-centric form of divination into a personalized, individual-oriented system. Throughout this exposition, detailed attention will be given to the mechanisms by which natal charts, planetary rulerships, and astrological aspects were formulated, each contributing to a highly sophisticated blueprint of human destiny. Drawing upon extensive research, the present analysis foregrounds the evolution of techniques that allowed practitioners to align celestial configurations with human life events. The methodical mapping of the heavens, specifically the calculated positions of the sun, moon, and the classical planets, is described not merely as an exercise in arithmetic but as an embodiment of philosophical principles. The mathematical rigor, combined with deep mythological narratives and symbolic representations, provided the foundation for an interpretive framework that could offer insight into personality traits, strengths, and latent potentials. By examining the empirical data and its subsequent mythopoetic interpretation, we uncover an intricate system that transcended mere fate to explore the realms of human potential and self-determination. This journey into Hellenistic astrology invites the discerning expert to appreciate the remarkable confluence of astronomical observation, quantitative analysis, and allegorical thought, setting the stage for a detailed exploration of its origins, innovations, and enduring impact on Western astrological traditions. Thus, the following discourse situates Hellenistic astrology within its historical context while elucidating its technical mechanisms and interpretative depth for scholars devoted to exploring its sophisticated methodology with analytical precision indeed. Tracing the roots of Hellenistic astrology demands an incisive analysis of an era marked by cross-cultural exchange and intellectual ferment. In the 3rd century BCE, the Mediterranean basin was a crucible where Greek scholars engaged with advanced Babylonian astronomical methodologies and the symbolic, ritualistic traditions of Egypt. Babylonian astronomical observations, known for their rigorous mathematical computations and systematic recording of planetary movements, provided a solid quantitative backbone. Concurrently, Egyptian astrological thought, steeped in symbolic representations and mystical interpretations, contributed allegorical nuance to celestial phenomena. The amalgamation of these distinct intellectual traditions enabled Greek thinkers to formulate a system that was both empirically robust and richly imbued with metaphorical significance. Detailed records and tabulations from Babylon, utilizing cuneiform tablets, demonstrated an early proficiency in measuring time and space, fundamental to the development of precise horoscopic techniques. Greek scholars, recognizing the strengths of this empirical method, assimilated these calculations and recalibrated them through the prism of Greek philosophical inquiry. The resulting synthesis was not merely an aggregation of numerical data. It was a deliberate reconfiguration of celestial mechanics into a framework that could articulate individual destinies and predict specific life events. This transformative process was underpinned by a belief in the interdependency of cosmic order and human existence, an idea that resonated strongly within the Hellenistic intellectual milieu. Furthermore, the evolving political and social structures of the time facilitated an environment where astrological expertise was not reserved for political elites alone, but began to extend its reach to a broader segment of society. The confluence of Babylonian and Egyptian scholarly methods with Greek rationalism gave birth to a new, nuanced system capable of addressing both macrocosmic events and microcosmic human experiences. Empirical data was rigorously analyzed and integrated with mythological narratives, thereby setting a precedent for the use of astrology as both a scientific and philosophical instrument. This period of intellectual synthesis not only redefined astrological practices, but also laid a foundational paradigm that would influence successive generations of astrologers in the West, providing a systematic approach that combined empirical precision with a deep symbolic comprehension of celestial dynamics. As an intellectual discipline, Hellenistic astrology was characterized by its systematic approach to celestial phenomena. It incorporated observations and calculations, often exemplified by the development of intricate models that described planetary cycles and orbital mechanics. Detailed records were maintained, and advanced geometrical techniques were employed to decode the underlying patterns governing cosmic motion. At the heart of Hellenistic astrology lies the profound innovation of the horoscope, a meticulously constructed chart that maps the positions of celestial bodies at the precise moment of an individual's birth. In developing this diagram, Greek astrologers harnessed both the empirical rigor of Babylonian computation and the symbolic depth inherited from Egyptian lore. The natal chart was not merely an astronomical representation. It was a complex, multidimensional model that functioned as a blueprint for the entire life of the subject. By integrating the fixed coordinates of the 12-sign zodiac with the fluid motions of the sun, moon, and planets, astrologers could decipher the intertwining influences that orchestrated the unfolding of human events. The process of charting a horoscope was underpinned by innovative mathematical techniques. Greek scholars utilized advanced geometry and arithmetic to calculate the spatial positions of celestial objects. This involved determining the ecliptic longitudes and latitudes of the planets, as well as computing the angular separations between them. Detailed altitudinal corrections were made to accommodate the observer's geographic location, which further increased the precision of the chart. Such methods not only demonstrated the technical prowess of Hellenistic astronomers, but also laid the groundwork for later astronomical instruments and techniques. This methodical approach was coupled with an interpretative framework that assigned specific archetypal meanings to each celestial configuration. The zodiac served as a matrix wherein the positions of the planets could be deciphered in relation to mythological narratives and philosophical doctrines. For instance, the placement of the moon within a particular sign was understood to signify certain innate emotional tendencies, while the sun's position articulated core identity attributes. This dual-coded system, both numerical and symbolic, enabled Hellenistic astrologers to predict life events and articulate detailed profiles of personality and destiny. The intellectual merit of this system was underscored by its capacity for both quantitative analysis and qualitative insight, thereby creating a synthesis of precision and poetic symbolism that has continued to inspire scholarly inquiry into the intricate relationship between the cosmic order and human existence. Furthermore, empirical observations and precise calculations underpinned the development of a predictive model that integrated the cyclical nature of planetary motions with the fixed framework of the zodiac. Detailed ephemerides and mathematical tables were compiled to provide accurate positional data, thereby offering a quantifiable basis for astrological prognosis. This rigorous approach allowed practitioners to discern subtle correlations between planetary alignments and temporal events, reinforcing the chart's role as both an analytical tool and a narrative of destiny. Such an integration of mathematical precision and symbolic meaning epitomized the innovative spirit of Hellenistic astrologers, establishing a lasting precedent for future refinements and furthering a legacy characterized by both unwavering analytical rigor and profound interpretative depth. Central to the evolution of Hellenistic astrology was the reconfiguration of planetary deities into a framework that extended beyond simple omen interpretation to encompass complex aspects of individual psychology. Greek scholars redefined the roles of celestial bodies, aligning them with specific characteristics that reflected both divine symbolism and observable human behaviors. For instance, Mars was meticulously associated with assertive energy, ambition, and the challenges of conflict, while Venus came to symbolize not only love, but also the harmonizing forces of beauty and interpersonal alliances. Mercury, whose domain included communication and intellect, was regarded as the conduit of subtle information between the mortal and divine realms, thereby serving as a bridge between empirical observations and metaphysical insights. This process of reassigning mythological attributes to planetary bodies was accompanied by careful numerical analysis and a systemic classification of planetary influences. Scholars systematically categorize the deities and their corresponding traits, employing detailed geometrical and arithmetic methods to correlate celestial positions with specific life events and personality dimensions. Such correlations were not arbitrary. They were rooted in centuries of astronomical observation and accumulated wisdom. The analytic approach afforded by the calculation of planetary rulerships allowed astrologers to construct predictive models that were as quantitative as they were qualitative, merging statistical likelihoods with deeply entrenched symbolic meanings. Further refinement in the cosmological schema was achieved through the incorporation of aspects, which described the angular relationships between planets. This sophisticated technique provided additional layers of nuance by revealing patterns of harmony and tension that operated within an individual's natal chart. As the ancient system evolved, these aspects contributed to a richer, more precise depiction of internal dynamics and interpersonal interactions, thereby enhancing the overall utility of astrological readings. The integration of precise calculations with robust mythographic frameworks epitomized the Hellenistic commitment to interdisciplinary scholarship, fusing empirical data with psychological insights and mythological layers to yield a multifaceted tool for understanding human destiny. Scholars of Hellenistic astrology have long noted that the integration of planetary symbolism with detailed mathematical frameworks did more than merely forecast events. It provided a sophisticated paradigm for comprehending the human psyche in quantitative terms. This paradigm invited rigorous statistical analysis of astronomical cycles and the formal categorization of personality typologies, aspects, and rulerships. By merging these elements, ancient astrologers laid a foundation for what modern interpretations consider an early form of psychological profiling and quantitative modeling, qualities which continue to resonate in current academic discourse. This refined astrological system continues to offer insights into the interplay of cosmic and human dynamics. Among the various technical innovations of Hellenistic astrology, the introduction of aspects stands as a critical advancement in the interpretation of celestial influences. Aspects, defined by the angular relationships between planetary bodies, enabled ancient astrologers to quantify the dynamic interactions that characterized a natal chart. By establishing precise angular measurements, such as conjunctions, sextiles, squares, trines, and oppositions, practitioners were able to analyze the intensities of planetary influences with mathematical precision. This geometric approach was informed by rigorous computational methods and underscored by a deep understanding of astronomical mechanics. The use of aspects introduced a sophisticated system for discerning the harmonious and discordant relationships between key celestial entities. In applying these angular metrics, astrologers could identify periods of tension and concordance, thereby providing a clearer picture of the potential challenges and strengths inherent in an individual's character. For example, a square aspect might indicate internal conflict or external obstacles, while a trine was often seen as a manifestation of natural talent or ease of expression. The evaluation of these aspects required not only a command of numerical calculation, but also an interpretative acumen that linked geometric data with human experience. Moreover, the incorporation of aspects yielded a multidimensional analytical tool that bridged the gap between abstract numerical data and concrete life events. The precision of angular measurements contributed to the predictive accuracy of the natal chart, reinforcing the system's credibility and its capacity to merge empirical observation with symbolic interpretation. Through such detailed analysis, Hellenistic astrology evolved into a form of sophisticated celestial mapping that continues to inform modern technical studies and practical applications in astrological research. Consequently, the nuanced application of aspects harmonized mathematical precision with symbolic inference, reinforcing the comprehensive analytical framework that modern astrologers continue to refine and utilize. Hellenistic astrology emerged from a fertile environment of cross-cultural synthesis, incorporating Babylonian astronomical precision and Egyptian symbolic tradition into a uniquely Greek framework. In this intellectual milieu, Greek scholars translated and critically adapted cuneiform astronomical texts alongside Egyptian ritualistic astrological practices, thereby producing a system imbued with both quantitative acumen and rich mythological allusions. This synthesis was instrumental in evolving astrology from a tool reserved for royal administrations into one that probed the intricacies of individual existence. The legacy of Hellenistic astrology is evident in its enduring influence on subsequent Western astrological traditions. Pioneering figures such as Claudius Ptolemy systematized these hybrid methods in seminal works, which meticulously outlined the principles of horoscopic construction, planetary rulership, and geometrical aspects. The comprehensive treatment of celestial mechanics and mythic symbolism in these texts provided a foundation upon which later astrological and astronomical practices were built. Moreover, countless scholars meticulously examined the interplay between measured data and symbolic interpretation, yielding a corpus of knowledge that continues to inform modern research. Furthermore, the methodological innovations of this period underscored a broader philosophical commitment to understanding the cosmos as an interconnected entity. By fusing rigorous empirical analysis with profound symbolic insight, Hellenistic astrology challenged its contemporaries to consider the universe as a dynamic tapestry of interrelated forces. This integrative approach not only expanded the scope of early astrological practice, but also set a precedent for later scientific inquiry, leaving a legacy that is both technically robust and culturally resonant. As a coherent testament to its historical significance, Hellenistic astrology remains a subject of rigorous academic investigation, continually offering refined techniques and cross-disciplinary insights that bridge ancient methodologies and modern scientific paradigms. This enduring fusion of diverse traditions and precise calculations ultimately affirms the sophisticated legacy of Hellenistic astrology in both historical and contemporary scholarly discourse. In conclusion, the study of Hellenistic astrology reveals a legacy defined by the rigorous amalgamation of mathematical precision, symbolic depth, and interdisciplinary insight. Detailed analyses of horoscopic construction demonstrate how empirical calculations interlace with mythological narratives to yield nuanced predictions and comprehensive personality profiles. The innovations introduced during this period established paradigms that not only recalibrated astrological practice, but also influenced the broader intellectual landscape of the ancient world. The technical milestones of the Hellenistic period, natal charts, planetary rulerships, and the intricate use of aspects, attest to a sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics and its human correlates. Modern scholars continue to draw upon these ancient methodologies, integrating advanced statistical models and astronomical data to refine interpretations that resonate with both historical inquiry and contemporary scientific standards. The robust framework developed by Greek astrologers continues to serve as a bridge between the humanities and the sciences, illustrating the power of an analytical approach that transcends time. Ultimately, Hellenistic astrology stands as a testament to the enduring human quest to decode the cosmos, offering a vibrant synthesis of observation, calculation, and symbolic interpretation. Its persistent influence on both astrological practice and the broader field of astronomical research underscores the relevance of ancient wisdom in today's analytical and philosophical debates. This reflective examination not only illuminates the technical accomplishments of early astrologers, but also invites modern practitioners to engage with a rich tradition that continues to evolve and inspire. Thus, the enduring impact of Hellenistic astrology is revealed not only through its historical innovations, but also by its capacity to evolve, adapting ancient empirical techniques to modern intellectual challenges. This synthesis of rigorous computation and rich symbolism remains a beacon for researchers, affirming its place in the annals of scientific and cultural achievement.